Big up, guys. It's your boy, Mark and MUFC fan. And you know what it is? It's the here we go. Dorgu, Patrick Dorgu to Manchester United. 30 million euros, 23 million pounds, plus 4 in add-ons. It's an interesting situation. My boy, Bali Tech in the building as we celebrate the incoming of the young talent. Of course, despite us might be having a disagreement on the talent coming in. At the end of the day, guys, you know, we are Manchester United fans. And all we have to say is we're going to back the player once he comes in. Because guess what? He's here now. So I think it was good business. I thought it was going to be costing way more money than that. I thought it was going to be more around 40 million. But the add-ons are very difficult to achieve. And I think they did some decent business. Let's see how the player goes. Of course, you know, a lot of different reports are coming in. A lot of different people have their opinions. What are your thoughts, Bali, in the building?
Before I share my thoughts, you highlighted at the top of the show that we have a disagreement over the player. I'd just like to understand what the disagreement is, because I don't think the viewers know.
I kind of felt like I would have preferred Alvaro Fernandez over Dorgu, you know, but there's a lot of people that has the opinion that Dorgu suits the system better because he's a attacking player. He can play the right wing role. You know, he gets forward a lot. And I think because of that, because of this, the theory that Amorim plays wingers in the wing back role means that he's better suited for the role, better suited to the setup. But if we're talking about players getting forward, being adept in a forward position and getting back defensively, for me, I just felt like Alvaro is the better all-round player, in my honest opinion. I mean, I could show you some, you know, the stats on the players and to sort of hold my argument as well. At the same time, I'm just not trying to make it seem like I'm too disappointing in the signing. I'm not disappointed. I just would have preferred to sign Alvaro.
Okay. Yeah, I think I gave my opinion on what I felt like the difference is between Alvaro and Dorgu is. I'll just briefly touch on it. Alvaro is better defensively than Dorgu. Like, he's way better defensively than Dorgu, in my opinion. Alvaro looks better on the ball than Dorgu, and that's also my opinion. However, Dorgu is a full-on attacking player. Like, when I say attacking, this guy is attacking. So the idea that Alvaro, it's like, okay, the best way of describing it is Mazraoui. Mazraoui is not, he's a fullback, but he's not a wing back, if that makes any sense. I think some people might agree that he's a fullback, but he's not a wing back. He can play as a central right-sided defender or a central left-sided defender, but he's not a central defender, if that makes any sense. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I think how I try to describe it one show is that when Trent Alexander plays as a right fullback, he inverts into midfield. So people will see him in the midfield and see him on the ball, and then they'll think he's a midfielder. But then when he played for England in midfield, it was a disaster show. And the reason why it was a disaster is because it's different when you're inverting. When you're inverting, nobody knows. Nobody's thinking, should I pick up Trent Alexander? He's gone all the way into midfield. No one's thinking, I need to be marking this guy, because they've already got men that they're already marking. So he's just coming into the space and he's taking advantage, yeah? Which is what Alvaro does when he's attacking, because there's like another winger there, and the defender's thinking, well, I'm gonna be with the winger, and then Alvaro can slip in that way. But if Alvaro has to play as a winger, and then he's getting doubled up against with a winger that's tracking back, and then a fullback, like I think he has no chance. I don't think he can do what Dorgu can do from a winger standpoint. A winger can take on two men and beat the two men. I don't think Alvaro is beating two men. He's more of a defender from that standpoint. It's the same thing with Mazraoui. I don't think Mazraoui's beating two men because he's a defender. But I expect Cristiano to beat two men. I expect Luis Nani to beat two men. I expect Saka and proper wingers to beat two men. I expect Cole Palmer to beat two men. So that's where the difference is in terms of the player. But as I said, I prefer the way Alvaro looks on the ball. I prefer his defensive attributes. But in this wingback system, he's not going to be tasked with your main role is to defend. His main role is to get at the opposition as much as he can. And I don't think that is a role that suits Alvaro down to the ground. Not to say that he can't play the role, he can. But if remember, Alvaro's cheaper. They've seen the stats. I've also seen the stats as well. And although Alvaro has more goals and assists, he's also playing in a Benfica team, which is much better. Benfica is better than Lecce. They're just a better outfit. You don't really score goals in the Italian league. There's not really any goals there. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's get on to the signing. Signing, like for me, I would have preferred obviously if we had a ready-made signing. I've said it on multiple occasions. Obviously, because he's a young gunner, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt. So Mark keeps saying that we can't criticize the youngsters. But I've always maintained that obviously if we give them the shirt, then they're there to be taken aim at if they don't perform. Whilst Mark has that, you know, that mothering sort of love to a child, I have that more like tough love. Like I will literally stick it on a child and tell him he needs to do better. Kind of like Thierry Henry's dad. The only thing is that was the way Thierry Henry's dad knew how to get the best of Thierry. Yeah, because Thierry always wanted to impress his dad. And me personally, I think without him wanting to impress his dad, he would have never hit the heights that he ended up hitting. But having said that, there are some kids that don't need nothing from their parents or don't need any form of push, and they would have just got there anyway. And some people need a bit more encouragement. So I'm not saying that Mark's style of how he prefers to deal with the youngsters is always going to work, but I do know that my style will also work. So it's 50-50 in that regard. Do you know what I mean? But I don't believe in babying people or nothing like that. I believe when you get to a certain point, you're a baby until you start doing big man things. When you start doing big man things, that's when we have to start bringing you into big man conversations.
Yeah, I mean, you know it is, bro. You know how I look at things. I'm not that kind of guy that, you know, I would be too heavy on the young players under 23. I would criticize them, but I would, you know, still give them the benefit of the doubt. And we might have different, you know, views on that, but that's fine, bro. It's, at the end of the day, we both want the same thing, which is Man United to be the best team and all the players to succeed who play for the club. They to perform well as well as always. You know, we're not in the best vein right now, so he's coming into the team. You know, a left back, we haven't signed one for the last 18 months, so besides the youngster Diego Leone. I think he comes in to start because I would see that, Delo is not a left-sided player and he should be fighting for the right wing-back role because I think he would get forward better in that right wing-back role. He's more comfortable on the right side. He's not a left-sided player. But Dorgu, if you don't know much about him, he's of Nigerian descent. He was born in Copenhagen. He's represented Denmark at every international level from under 18s up to the senior team. He had represented Nordsjælland at youth level before moving to Lecce in 2022. He spent the entirety of his senior career to date in the Serie A, making 53 appearances over the last 2 seasons. 21 of them has come this term, as well as 3 league goals and an assist in 2024-25. The talented youngster was rewarded with his first call-up to Denmark's senior national team in September for Nation League fixtures against Switzerland and Serbia, both of which resulted in 2-0 wins. Dorgu started both matches from the bench, but came on in both and marked his first appearance with a tidy finish inside the area for Denmark to hand the Danes a 1-0 lead over Switzerland with 9 minutes of regular time to play. He was also included in Denmark's Nation League squad in October and November. And this young talent, his positioning, his strength, and his versatility, despite playing most of his early matches with Lecce at left back, has begun to show his positional awareness over the course of 24-25. Having started a number of matches out on the right wing, Dorgu's versatility is certainly a part of why United need him as an ideal player for Rúben Amorim. He's capable of playing practically any position on the left-hand side, including left back, left wing back, and as part of the front three. He's now proven to be capable on the right as well. Through Lecce and Manchester United played different systems. A 4-3-3 has been Marco Giampolo's go-to situation. Amorim's is a 3-4-2-1. Dorgu could fit nicely in that current lineup and is probably set to start with the way United have been going after him in this window. Amorim has been lacking a left-sided wing-back for most of the season, with Luke Shaw and Terrell Malacia both struggling for fitness. Diego Dalot and Moussa Mazraoui have both had to cover that role out of position. Dorgu will be a natural solution for United off the left wing-back and or the right, as well as should be required. Given that he has played on the wing in a 4-4-3, he could also be used in a more advanced role at Old Trafford, like Amad Diallo. He's also a left footer who can be used in a rotational option should the former Atalanta man need rest at any point. And that makes it interesting, guys, because, like I said, guys, I haven't seen much of the player. I've seen more of Alvaro, so that's where my preference lies. But as you can see, there's a lot of glowing remarks and reports about this young player and his performances. So, I will be here to hold my hands up. When he starts giving good performances, it's going to be one of the things. Bro, I don't know why you keep thinking this. Anyway, on to some other interesting news. We'll go back to Dorgu in a bit because he's the star of the show. He's the guy that we got. We were chasing him for the last week and a half, and Man United finally have their man with the deal agreed just to be signed. He should be arriving in Old Trafford on Wednesday for his medical, and of course, he will be unveiled probably on Thursday before the Europa League match. As you know, we take on Steaua Bucuresti away. It's going to be an interesting situation because there are reports he will be traveling with the team, if only just to look at the game and just enjoy the fanfare. Now, interesting reports coming in as Fabrizio Romano is also talking about Man United in this moment and confirms that Arsenal defensive genius has just chosen Manchester United, and the medical is already booked. He will be taking his medical in tomorrow morning at Manchester United. And yes, I am talking about Aiden Haven from Arsenal. And you know what? Arsenal and Barcelona and Bayern Munich, they were all hoping to convince this player, one, to stay at his parent club, and others to move away. And Manchester United came knocking. And Aiden, good friends with a young player who made the move early on in the summer, Chido Obi Martin, probably got some advice from his friend who said to him, the project here is going to do well. Come over to the red side of Manchester. This is the real red kit that you need to be wearing. And I would say that his promise and Arsenal loss who spent his formative years at West Ham United Academy before joining Arsenal, made a notable impression with the Gunners. His debut in the senior squad during the League Cup victory hinted on a bright future, one that many anticipated unfolding at the Emirates. But report underlines that his potential, noting Heaven's decision to move amidst interest from other clubs, including Eintracht, Frankfurt, and Bayern Munich, and Barcelona as well. Manchester United's approach in snapping up Heaven reflects a broader strategy to invest in young, promising talents. Rúben Amorim's side appears focused on building a robust team for the future, as evidenced by their other recent acquisitions. The compensation fee agreed to pay due to Heaven's age, underlying their commitments to the strategy. Moreover, this disrupts Frankfurt's plans, who were also very keen on adding the young defender to their ranks. And not only that, but Barcelona are said to be fuming, as they were hoping to swoop in for the player with the now sale of some of their young talents to Saudi Arabia. Now, Romanos was saying some other things, but guys, all I can say is that this shows some great tactics by the team, Jason Wilcox, as well as our new, recruitment officer in Christopher Favell. And I have to say, I've always had faith in that guy. He came with an extensive record of top judgment in terms of where he brings his talent from, the quality of the talent, and his openness to look in every single place, nook and cranny, to find that talent, and not just in one pool. He swims in the wider world, in the oceans. So it's one of those things I would like to highlight, that Manchester United are doing some good business in some instances. I would say this is one of the best bits of business we've done in a while, especially because this is a young player who has shown promise and will definitely find his way into the first team. And of course, we need defenders. So this is also very good. What are your thoughts on this, Bali?
Yeah, I find this one interesting. Funny enough, yeah, I don't know if I said it on this stream or if it was, well, not on this stream particularly, but I've said it on stream before, that one of my friends sees a kid who plays for Arsenal, his mother. And this guy, Aiden Haven, is one of his good friends. So it's funny that because she goes to all the Arsenal games, so it's actually funny that because they're always winding me up about how shit Man United is at the moment. So it's funny that one of the guys, his good friend, is coming to Manchester United. I find that very, very interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I find that very, very interesting. But yeah, this guy's a defender. He also plays in midfield. He's got a cultured left foot. I'm looking. He used to be a striker. He was at West Ham youth team, and then he got released from there, went over to Arsenal, and now he's at Manchester United. I see a post from Chido Obi's saying that he's the agent. So yeah, big up to Chido.
I know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's looking like Manchester United are stockpiling some Danish Nigerians now, with Dorgu and Chido. So big up them too. And yeah, I think we're just continuing on strengthening our youth setup. And also, I saw something from, I think it was Academy Scoop, which they're basically saying that this guy, he's not just like coming to play youth team football, but they've outlined a vision and a pathway that he's going to actually enter the first team. So, like the of Sekou Kone, sooner or later, he's going to play first team football. The same thing that Chido Obi came in, sooner or later, he's going to play first team football. That's
Diego
the same
Leone
thing that
as well.
Yeah, so that's the same thing that they've offered Haven. Sooner or later, he's going to play first team football. So that's going to be very interesting one to watch. What position that they play him in? Are they going to play him in a midfield role? Are they going to play him in a left centre back role? So what does this mean? And if he is going to be the next in line to play left centre back, What does that mean for Godwill Kokonki, who I'm very high on? And then also, what does that mean for Gerard Bramthwaite? Is he still coming in the summer or not?
He's
Or
never coming anywhere.
or have they scrapped those plans all together? Because I'd imagine next summer he'll be even cheaper. But it is what it is. I don't think me personally, I've always said that Gerard Bramthwaite, in my opinion, I don't think he's that much of a good footballer. He's fast, he's quick, he's tall, but he's not a good footballer. So, like, when it comes to things like building up from the back and stuff like that, I just don't think that suits him. When it comes to him being on the ball with the ball at his feet, I don't think that suits him. When it comes to breaking lines with his passes, I don't think that suits him. But when it comes to that stuff where the ball's in the air, or when you have to when you're the last defender and you have to keep up with someone, he can do those things, but he's not good on the ball and he can't pass properly and things of that nature. So no, I don't really want Gerard Brentwaite. I'd rather have somebody who is good on the ball, can pass and defend, and has got speed as well. So like I say, I'd rather give it to Godwill or one of these youngsters to step up and do the damn thing for Manchester United. But when it comes to actual like players that are, let's say, from maybe like 17 to like 21, we've actually got some bad boys there. It's just how and when they get their chance. And some may
100%.
never get their chance.
Big
Like
up
we
to
got
Joseph
that.
Ryan.
Is it Lusal or Lusale
Samuel
from
Lusale.
yeah, from Crystal Palace? We got that
Palace.
kid. We'll see whether he gets his chance
Philippe
or not.
Nexus is our next one.
Yeah, we've got some kids there. So we'll see who's gonna get what. And yeah, it's gonna be a process, don't get me wrong. All these kids, like we're seeing them now, they're quite young, and I'm not expecting big things from them tomorrow. But Manchester United have to build a team that is able to win. So
100%.
we can now show the kids this is what you're supposed to do if you want to get into the team. So if we end up having to sell a youngster to Real Madrid for 100 mil, we've got somebody there in the academy or somebody there that we can go and buy who's ready to come in and do what they need to do. I suppose that's the whole point of anything. So
100.
we might not be looking at the results that we're getting now and be thinking, oh, well, we're not playing well on the pitch or whatever. But like this, in terms of the young project that they have, I have faith in the young project. I even though I'm hard on the young players, I do have faith in the young project because I know we have some really, really, really exciting youngsters there. This is why I don't This is why I don't have no problem selling Garnacho, because I understand what we've already got. I'm not saying that Garnacho is rubbish or anything. I'm not saying that. I don't mind keeping a hold of him, but if mad money came in, I would let him go because I know there are kids in his position that in the next 3 to 4 years, we're gonna be high on them as well.
100%.
So when you have a production line of youth talent, very good youth talent, it's not about falling in love with one player and then saying, "Oh no, we can't sell this player," even though that player hasn't hit the heights yet. It's not necessarily about that because we got so many good talent, and I think a lot of people don't watch the under 18s or the under 21, so they don't really know
No.
the weapons, the lethal weapons that we have down there. This is why I like if the money came in today, I wouldn't be that mad on it, provided that I knew the club was gonna go and buy a top quality signing, not a youngster that we have to groom or whatever, just somebody who can help lift us out of this mud, like somebody who's a top bagsman or gunner or a sniper, whatever. But we need some high quality individuals to come in so these youngsters can learn off these people.
Exactly. You know, they need to learn from some guys who know what they're about, know what they're doing, experience 100%. And the guys in chat agree with you 100. So, you know, no different there. Big up to Joseph Ryan from Trinity. You know, carnival time. Don't expect Trinity to be tuning in right now because it's party time. So, but big up to you, my bro. And let's get into this one because this is an interesting story, you know, and it's hot news right now and across Germany. An exclusive Matthias Tell has decided to leave Bayern Munich in January. The Bayern and the player will assess the options on the market, excuse me. You know, there's rumors that Chelsea at the beginning of January were interested, but there are more clubs also keen. The race is wide open. And guys, Matthias Tell, what I can tell you about this player, he's a very interesting attacking talent. He can play that striking role. He's the better version, I would say, in my honest opinion, he's a better version of what they thought Nicholas Jackson would be. You know, he's quick. He has that control, very good ability with both feet, can score goals, can bring in other players. He could play on the wing, left or right, and he can play at striker. I think this is an interesting signing. I think he can also play the 10 role on the left. It would be very interesting to see if Manchester United goes and get this player. Of course, Matthias Tell is not one of those players that you would say is an average bloke that, you know, you can pass up, that comes in every single time. Brian don't really want to lose the player, but of course he's not getting the game time that he's expected since the coming of the likes of Harry Kane as well into the strike force. And, you know, Vincent Kompany doesn't seem to like playing youngsters too much at Bayern Munich. He plays a more experienced team. And it's one of those things that, you know, the Frenchman, Matthias Tell, has decided to leave. You know, he's a very good talent, budding talent, you know, 19 years old. Trust me, guys. He's a young guy. It's not the experienced attacker that we need, but it's an attacker who has the talent to go levels up. You know, a lot of people like Barcola, but I think this guy, only because he was injured, was the reason why Barcola got his chance in the French team going into the Euros this summer. Because this guy, in my opinion, I was expecting to see them tearing up the scene in the Euros for France. It's just my honest opinion. I wouldn't mind doing that. Big up to you. That was the genius comment. 100%. I have to agree with it. I see it there. Ray S. Swap Rashford for Matthias Tell. Might be a good deal. I think, you know, Rashford would do amazing in Bayern Munich and he would win some trophies, in my honest opinion. What are your thoughts, guys, in the comments? Let me know what you're thinking. Bali, what do you think about Matthias Tell?
He's a good player. He kind of reminds me. He plays in the mode of like Rashford, that style. I'm not saying he's like, because if I say that, people would just be like, "Oh, but Rashford's rubbish." No, Rashford can't be asked. He's not rubbish. He just can't be bothered. Yeah, that is the problem with Marcus Rashford. He cannot be bothered. If Rashford was gingered to play for Manchester United, he would be lighting it up. But the manager has dropped him and said that he would rather play a goalkeeping coach in his place because he can't be asked. Yeah, he can't be bothered to play for the shirt. So there's the difference. But Matthias Tell, he reminds me of like a young Rashford, or he plays like similar to the boy at Borussia Dortmund, Gittins. It's like a similar style. But again, he, in my opinion, is another young.
Stephanie.
Big up to Stephanie Griffiths. But yeah, he, in my opinion, is a young and up and coming player. He's not the finished article. There's multiple things he can work on. Do I want another young up and coming star whose name ain't Yamal? Not really, bro. Not right now. Unless they're doing up your Mao numbers. Not right now. Don't get me wrong. Like on loan to the rest of the season, I have no problems with it because I think we're light. But are we? But if they say, yeah, if they come out and say, oh, we want 70, 80 million for him, it's a hell no. And on top of that, I think another thing, because I'm not really sure what price tag they're trying to attach to this kid, yeah. But if the price is right, maybe I'd think about it. But at the same time, nah, not really, because we need experience. We need experience. We can't even keep going down this trap. Another thing is he actually doesn't want to leave Bayern. He wanted to stay there. The only reason why he's now considering leaving is because Bayern are trying to push him out the door in order to get Nkunku, because Chelsea have offered Nkunku. So that is the reason why, because Nkunku really wants to go to Bayern now that Bayern's on the table. And personally, I think if he goes there, if Nkunku goes there, he's gonna cook at Bayern. Like he's just gonna cook there. He cooked at Leipzig, and now he's going to a better club. If he does go there, he's going to the best club in Germany. So no doubt he's gonna cook over there as well. But yeah, in my opinion, who would I prefer, Tell or Gittins? I mean, I don't know. To me, they're kind of on similar levels, even though Gittins is more of a starter at Dortmund. So I wouldn't want to split hairs because Dortmund is not a bigger club than Bayern, and Bayern have Harry Kane in front of him and some other bad boys in front of him. So I'm pretty sure he would get more game time at Dortmund or maybe one of the lesser clubs in Germany.
Sorry to cut you, bro, but I'm so pissed off at this. I'm pissed off at this, bro.
Oh, who's that? Boniface.
Boniface going to Al Nassr, King. 24 years old, bro.
Yeah, I mean, these types of things are annoying, but you have to understand, yeah. I keep telling people, because some people don't understand, yeah. They seem to think, yeah, that you being a fan of a club always plays into your footballing decisions. It's not always the case. Yeah. Some of these guys, yeah, that play football week in, week out, don't even watch football on their day off. Like, they don't even watch football. So you see sometimes, yeah, when some of these players, yeah, come on TV and give us their footballing opinion, yeah, and then the take is horrible. Usually it's because the players, they were earning money from football, and now that they've stopped making money from football, the only way to make money is through punditry. So a lot of these guys are not actually watching football. They're not watching football. So when they're giving their expert opinion, they're giving it from a perspective of a man that does not watch football. So when I'm hearing certain wild takes, I'm like, bruh, like, do you know what you're saying? And then later on down the line, you find out that, oh, they're more into racing or they're more into golf. Yeah, football was their job, but they're more into other sports. So that's when you now start understanding certain things. So Boniface is Nigerian, bruv. You can't you can't just go to a Nigerian man and offer him some berserk wages and think that he ain't gonna take it, bruv. Do you get what I mean? You can't just offer in some life-changing money and 100 Ferraris and 1 million wives in heaven and whatnot. I'm pretty sure that's what they offered him. Yeah. You think he's not gonna you think he's gonna turn that down? Hell no.
No, bro, I wouldn't turn it down either, to be fair, bro. It looked like mad money. But the reason why I brought in Matthias Tell was because, you know, as always, I'm a trusted fan of Florian Plettenberg as well. I think he gets a lot of the transfer news spot on. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people prefer Fabrizio and the likes of, David Ornstein, but when it comes to these players outside of England, I think Florian is one of the best, if not the best. And he came out to say 30 minutes ago, Manchester United are considering entering the race for Matthias Tell in the event of a departure of Alejandro Garnacho or Marcus Rashford following Tell's decision to leave Bayern Munich before deadline day. Matthias Tell is valued at 30 million euros by Bayern Munich, who have paid 20 million to secure his signing. There's an expectation that he will be allowed to leave for somewhere thereabouts between 30 to 50 million euros as a package deal if comes in on, So this makes it quite interesting, guys. Quite
30
interesting.
million.
30 to 40 million, and I'm talking pounds. If you want, we can go to euros, which would be, maybe 40, 35, 45 million euros. But this is what they're interesting. It's also said the same thing in the other article that I had up before. He's rated at 30 million euros right now. He wants to leave, which means that the only way the price goes up dramatically is if there's a bidding war and clubs are willing to pay for his services. This is going to be very interesting because, guys, could Marcus Rashford be used as a make weight to bring this player to Manchester United? And I'm pretty sure with the name of Marcus Rashford, who wouldn't want to take a punt on him? Thinking just like what we are thinking. He can't be asked. He may have just run out of love of Manchester United. Maybe a new environment, a new challenge might really get him back into the interest of playing football and a better performance. It might be something we could be looking at, guys. Florian Plettenberg is saying it right here. And for me, I can get excited now because I watched this player smash us in the Allianz Arena, just like the great one. And I've seen some of his performances. He's an interesting player. He's very electric, good at dribbling, good at crossing. He has a very good passing range. And of course, he has a good shot on him and a lot of pace, bro. He's quite a lot like Jamie Bino-Gittens, to be honest, and I do also like Jamie Bino-Gittens, but to be honest, my bro, I would prefer if we could get him in. He would be definitely cheaper than Jamie Bino-Gittens, to be fair as well, because we know Dortmund. So
yeah, I hear what you're saying still, in terms of, I mean, the price tag doesn't sound too shabby. And this is the thing about what Man United's new policy is now. They want to get players for a deal. So if it means, that our policy is now to avoid buying the players that we should be buying in order to get these youngsters through the door on low wages and everything else, then maybe that's the route that they're going to go down. But if these men are expecting us to be doing stuff with multiple inconsistent people on the pitch, I don't know. I honestly, I've grown so frustrated with the attack in terms of the goal scoring, in terms of how they go around setting up the goals and everything else. Like, I'm actually so frustrated with it to the point where I'm thinking now we actually need some experience in all those positions, and then we can rotate. But if you're just gonna go through for all youngsters, then there's going to be some games where they're really gingered. We beat the team like 5 or 6-0. And then there are going to be games where a lot of these men can't find the back of the net for 3 or 4 games, maybe 6 or 7 games. And that's the problem with the inconsistency of young players, unfortunately. Tell was a good player, don't get me wrong, but he just doesn't have any form of sample size that will allow me to think that he's going to tear it up at Manchester United. But having said that, for 30 million euros or 35 million euros, I'm pretty sure Ineos will be itching to snap this up, so they have an excuse to not buy, let's say, a Mateus Cunha in the summer, or somebody of that sort of level, or maybe a Musiala, because Musiala, I believe, is gonna be in his final year of his deal come summer. So, or Florian Wirtz, like they're not gonna go and get these proper bad boys. They're gonna try and get some cheap knockoffs in the summer, yeah. Which me personally, I'm just finding extremely frustrating. So, guys, if this is the transfer policy going forward, all of us that were getting excited about the signing of Jokeres in the summer, and some good players to come in like Diamande, don't expect these men to come, because Ineos is trying to, their transfer policy is you shouldn't be more than like 30 odd mil. So between that sort of 30 odd mil range, they're trying to cheap everything. They tried to get Xerxes for 30 odd mil. This is a guy that couldn't hit a barn door. Now they want to get Mateus Tell for 30 odd mil. I'm not saying he can't hit a barn door, but every time we sign attacking players from Germany, they can't hit barn doors. So I wouldn't be surprised if he couldn't hit a barn door in this Manchester United side either. So I mean, big up to the club hierarchy, um, because if you don't sign the right players come next summer, then I wouldn't be surprised if we are staring at relegation, because I mean, we're just getting progressively worse and worse. In my opinion, we're just getting worse and worse. Like, is this Manchester United? Is this what we do? Like, no, we don't. Like, we get good players into the club. We don't get. You know what's funny as well? It's like Anthony, as an example. Yeah, he didn't have a good record before he came. Yes, he performed to a certain extent in Amsterdam, but he never had no great assist numbers. He never had no sick goal scoring record. But Manchester United thought that they could sign this guy for near enough 90 million, right? Um, Rasmus Højlund, yeah. He didn't have no sick numbers. He didn't have no crazy goal scoring record. But Manchester United decided that, we're going to go and sign him for 72 million. Okay, cool. So you've wasted money there, but now you're going the other way by trying to spend way less money by trying to sign people like Xerxes for a certain amount of money, and Delit for a certain amount of money, and Razraoui for a certain amount of money. And where I can praise them for saving a bit of money with some decent signings, I think they're overdoing it in certain areas. Certain areas of the field, you can't just do a cheap thing. You can't just be cheap. You have to. You might have to pay the piper, because the other clubs, they're not stupid. They know what they're selling you. So if, as an example, you do buy a Mateus Cunha, or you're interested in signing him, you're not signing no rusty player. You're signing a player that's strong, that's quick, that's fast, that's mobile, and can finish off either foot, that can play in the number 10 role, can play as a winger, can play as a centre forward. So, really and truly, like, if they were to turn around and say, oh, he's worth whatever crazy price that they decided to quote, it's because they know what he can do. It's because, and Man United tax as well, but they know what he can do. And that is the issue that I'm having with some of these signings. Um, so for me, if it was me, I would veto this type of signing. I don't want to. Not that he's a bad signing, but it's just for where we are right now. Like, we've got Garnacho. Like, why sell Garnacho and then buy this kid unless he's? I just don't see the point. I just don't see the point. If you're gonna sell Garnacho, you might as well go buy a bad boy with the money rather than trying to keep some of the change from that from the
Yeah.
signing.
Bro. You know what I mean? It's interesting. It's interesting. What was also interesting is that Bernardino just signed to Bayern Leverkusen. Bayern Leverkusen also just signed Mario Hermoso. So there's some movements in and about, things are happening all about, and the way it seems is like, there will be some interesting signings to be had coming to the end of this window. It might turn out much more interesting than we expected. I mean, for me, you know how I am, bro. I'm excited to see Manchester United get in and do some good business because realistically, we need some players to come into this club because it's one of those things. But for me, was also an interesting situation that we haven't spoken about just yet, which I definitely would like to bring to the stage as the final comments. Paul Labille Pogba. I'm not on two streams, bro. My phone just died, bro. I forgot to plug in the charger, so my phone just died. So that's what I was used to as my camera interface. The great one. Big up to you, mod in the building. Active mods. So Paul Pogba, guys. There are some reports that Rúben Amorim is considering a 6-month deal for Paul Labille Pogba to join Man United when he will officially be allowed to play football again in March. And then from there, take it as it goes and see what happens. Now, I don't know about you guys. There's a lot of Man United fans that might not be interested in this situation here. Could it be that Paul Pogba will return to Manchester United? Guys, it's left to be seen. I think based on his talent and ability, if he can be 80% of the player that he was, he would certainly, do well for Manchester United. And if he could be, then I wouldn't mind a signing. It comes on a free. It's not going to be that costly. He's a Pogba in a situation I would say is humbled compared to where he was before. I'm not saying humble because, what the negative stuff that happened to him, that I'm happy that happened to him. I'm saying it because, he doesn't have the same PR that he had before. He has not been good in the situation that he was in. He probably has matured a lot, learned a lot from a lot of experiences that he went through over the last 2.5 years. But I would say, guys, if he's fully fit and he's coming in for 6 months, hey, I would definitely take it, guys. I'm being real and honest. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about this guy? Would you take Paul Pogba back? Let me know. Bali, what are you saying, bro?
Yo. Big up to the chat. Have no fear. Bally Tech is here. Okay. Pogba. Interesting. Would I take Paul Pogba back? Well, in the summer, not this, was it this summer? I think it was the previous summer. They were like, oh, yeah, Johnny Evans is just coming to train. And in my head, I was thinking, I bet you any money they signed this guy. Next minute, they saw him in training and signed him up. Cool. So we got Johnny Evans. At times, to be fair to Johnny Evans, at times he did look better than some of the defenders that are there on long-term contracts. It's only now that Almarin's got a system that Johnny Evans can't handle. And I could literally see it on Johnny Evans' face that the pace of what he's being asked to do, he can't really do. No disrespect. However, Paul Pogba, we know that Paul Pogba is a phenomenal player in terms of the ability that he possesses and everything else. Does he have the work rate for Amarin's team? Back in the day, he did. I don't know if he has it now. He hasn't really played football for 2 years. Would I sign him up on a 6-month deal? Hell yeah. Like, I don't see Manchester United going and dipping into the transfer market to bring in no world-class midfielder. I don't see them trying to do that. So the idea that I'm going to see a world-class player who's been in a spot of bother, who's got a lot of point to prove, to look at him and think, well, like, I don't want him at all costs. And then get what? Nobody. Like, I don't care. Like, listen, bring Pogba in now. Bring the hyena man in right now. Yeah. We need him. Yeah. Because our owners have refused point blank range to spend money in January for whatever reason. We just about brought somebody in from a relegation team for like 24 million. Yeah. So that alone tells you that these men weren't really looking to spend any money. Yeah. So on that basis, we might as well get Pogba in, sign him up for 6 months, and let's see how it goes. Yeah. And it will be interesting. Let's say he did come in. Like, where would he be deployed? Would he be deployed with Ugarte in the midfield? Would he be deployed in the 10 row as like maybe a left 10 or a right 10? Would he play 10 with Bruno or would he play 10 with Ahmad? Is that why Ahmad is in the picture so both of them can play 10? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe he knows something that I don't know. Or would he play 10 and Ahmad go to wing back? Like, we'll have to see. But obviously, me personally, it would be definitely exciting to see Paul Pogba dancing on the ice back at Old Trafford, slapping teams about. He's an aerial threat in the box. He definitely brings physicality and skill, and I like you're not gonna get that from Bruno, unfortunately. I do like Bruno's goals and assists thing, but the technique and stuff that Paul Pogba has on the pitch, it does excite me. Some of the passes that this guy can play, some of the skills, some of the way he holds off people and everything else. It's like he's taking the piss out of the game. He's like an artist the way he plays football. So will I take it for 6 months? Hell yeah! Because at the end of the day, it's like we saw the match last weekend. Nobody can tell me that they didn't think that match was boring. And nobody can't tell me that Hyena Man, Paula Bill Pogba, wouldn't bring inject some excitement into that game. Who knows? He might play in the 10 with Kobe. We don't know what's gonna happen if he comes to the club, but if he does come to the club, it will definitely be I'll definitely be tuning in. Put it that way.
I mean, it's not something that I would be opposed to. You know me, bro. I want to win. I would have keep Mason Greenwood, and I would have keep Mason Greenwood because you know what? I want to win, and I want to win, my bro, because that's just how I look at things. And sometimes want to win, you had to sacrifice some things. And for me, it's just one of those things. You had to sacrifice it and people might be vexed, but listen, if this guy could improve our team, why not? I could see Ahmad going to right wing back, Pogba in the left 10, Bruno in the right 10. We have Kobe or Collier next to Ugarte, or switch up or adjustment of any one of the three of them in anywhere. Because, bro, practically we'll be able to be a little bit more fluent in the midfield. You don't just have Bruno creating, you have Paul Pogba there who you know could create as well. He could drive with the ball and carry it really well. We know about his skills. You know what I mean? It brings a little bit of confidence back to and swagger back to our midfield, in my honest opinion. I mean, people might be mad at me, but yeah. Bro, the only thing we missing now is bringing Greenwood home, bro. You bring, but all them men moving mad and all. They're not thinking about it. They're not
The
thinking
thing
about
is,
it.
a lot of people have a lot of PTSD from Pogba's previous stint at Manchester United. But I would put it to them that the issues that Pogba have in his last couple of seasons at Manchester United was predominantly down to injury. He went
100%.
to Juventus, then he had some injury issues there. Then I don't know if he just lacked a bit of confidence in his body and that's why he decided to take drugs. I don't really know. either which way, he's had 2 seasons off pretty much to most probably heal and get his. Well, he was on the drugs ban. Let's be real, but during that period, he's most probably healed and done all the. He's probably taken all the adequate precautions in terms of maybe having surgeries or rehabilitations and everything else. Will he ever be back to 100%? Who knows? But for a 6-month period, I would not mind finding out, considering that Ineos ain't looking to spend no bread during this period. So yeah, bring him back if it's possible. Let him train with the team if it's possible. Even if they're not gonna play him, just let him train with the team. Like, but I'd prefer them to play him. But if not, like, cool. But at the end of the day, Paul Pogba is one of our youth academy products, and if a youth academy product goes through what Paul Pogba went through and decides that he needs somewhere to train, Manchester United better be opening their arms to say, Rúben, we got a jersey for you. Come train over here, big man. Come carry it in and you know, do what you need to do. And at the end of the day, remember one thing, chat, right? We had a ginger ninja called Paul Scholes who came out of retirement, right, to help us win a title. But ironically, when he came out of retirement to help us win a title, that's what made Paul Pogba leave to go to Juventus, because he saw that Paul Pogba came back. He weren't really feeling that. I mean, he saw that Paul Scholes came back into the team from retirement, so he weren't really feeling that he didn't really get his chance, and that's why he left. So yeah, so Paul Scholes helped us win the Prem from retirement, and maybe Paul Pogba can help us win the Europa from his drugs ban.
It'll be interesting, bro. To be honest, what can I say? Interesting, possibly. You know, it might be 3 signings, 3 left side check. As Rúben is saying, Rúben, you think like me, you know, broski. Big up to you. You know what I mean? And I know that, you know, but let me tell you something. Can you imagine what Sekou Kone will turn into training with the likes of Pogba, Minu, and Ugarte, bro? Can you imagine him taking the influences of those 3 guys into one? With his current ability, Pogba is the perfect man to put in a team to train with this guy, bro. Because he's around the same kind of height, build, just like Pogba. He's silky, but he have that physicality. Bro, I want this guy to train with Pogba, bro, because I want Pogba to impart his knowledge into Kone and turn Kone into the next most amazing thing. Slap a number 8 on Kone or a number 10 on his back, bro, and let him run that midfield. Man, them. Sometimes, bro, we have to give to get. We have to sacrifice. And sometimes sacrificing our own pride for the greater good of Man United might just be what we have to do. Being honest, guys, you feel, you know what I mean, you don't want to be always making an exception for players, but you have to think about the future. And we have to think about it. Man United not in a position to be turning up their noses at talent like Paul Pogba. Because what? We go into the window, 40, 50, 60 million for a player who could probably give what he could give for 6 months for 500K, 2 million. Bro, let's win. Let's win our Europa League. Let's win our FA Cup, bro. Pogba could help us there. Any one of them brothers, bro. Downgrade. Brother, you don't have nothing in your midfield that at the level of this brother, bro. Nothing. The only thing you have in your team that is top level, bro, is Salah, bro. Nothing else good like this guy. There is nothing at the Liverpool team right now on the level of talent and ability as this brother, bro. They wish.
You see the madness, yeah, is that to the outside looking in, right? Because people only look at Paul Pogba's price tag, yeah. What derailed Paul Pogba was not that he was rubbish. He had his last couple of seasons at Manchester United, he had some severe injury problems that derailed his career. But if you look at the first couple of seasons when he came to Manchester United, he had some very good numbers. And I'm telling you now, yeah, Paul Pogba, he plays like Zidane. He literally plays like Zidane, like the way he plays football. Yeah, I'm not being funny, but Liverpool never had a midfielder that plays like Zidane. They never had that level of midfielder ever in their whole history of club football. And
Bro,
obviously that's why they like to stick it to us about Pogba. Oh, he's a flop, But bro, go watch the man. It's like you never actually watched the man properly. Go watch the clips that you can see and tell me if that's not sex on football. If that's not healing. It's mad, bruv.
but
The ability that this guy had. It's
bro, let
mad.
me tell you, I agree, bro. Because for me, I just keep it 100 a buck, bro. You could dislike a player, you could not like a player, you could have your preferences, whatever it be. But when it come down to football ability, let's not. Come on, guys. Let's not do these things. You know what I mean? Like realistically, if there's one thing I always say, when it comes to players, you have to give them the respect for their ability. They could do whatever, and you can hold them accountable. But when we talk in football, let we keep it on ability. Let us keep it on ability, because that is the only thing that move the needle forward and take us to where we want to go. We don't want to be losing games. Who wants to be in 12th? Who wants to be in 14th? Battling relegation. Not you, not me, certainly not Manchester United, folks. So let's be real and honest about ourselves. If Manchester United was to get this guy, let's be real. It's a possible situation that it could be a master stroke. I'm not going to lie and say that. I'll not say that, because realistically, this guy, we know his ability. And of course, we didn't like the media rants and all these different things, the antics, and some people will say to themselves that he won't do that. But that's not what's important. What's important right now is Man United going back up to the top. And sometimes, and if we have to make some sacrifices to get it done, you see. But there's also reports that Al Nassr is also interested in signing Paul Pogba. If he goes to Al Nassr, guess what? He's going to play with the GOAT. And that would change a lot of people's opinion on what they thought about him. You know what I'm saying? So, guys, let's keep it real. Let's keep it honest. One thing I would like to mention.
Shout out to Ricardo Diaz. He said a comment, something to do with like Portuguese girls being in charge and that. Yeah, like, bro, like Gyökeres is coming to Manchester United. If Manchester United want to spend the bread, it don't matter what his girlfriend is saying. Like, I'll be real. It doesn't matter what his girlfriend's saying. It's what his agent is saying. Manchester United want you. Rúben Amorim wants you. Not what your girlfriend's saying. You like, it doesn't matter. He could dump her and go and get another girl. He can go get a better girl. You have to understand, when you're the money man, you're just the money man, innit? It don't matter. Like, I'm gonna be real. I've dated Portuguese girls. Shout out to Sonia. Yeah, she knew what time it was when she was around me. You understand? She was never in charge of a guy like me. I'm just gonna be real with you, bruv. So at the end of the day, money talks. If your agent is telling you go over there, the money's good over there, whatever. Remember what he's getting paid right now. What he's getting paid right now is it's not big money in the Premier League. Like it's not big, but if he comes to Manchester United, we can put him on a nice tidy wage that will make his girlfriend wet. So it's not a problem. Over to you, Mark. Mark, are you on mute or what?
Oh, yeah, bro. 100% facts. And to be fair, bro, nobody can tell me. Nobody can tell me they don't miss this link up, bro. You can't tell me you don't miss this link up. You cannot tell me you don't miss that link up. And just imagine Ahmad and Menu. Ugarte. Oh, it's starting to sound nasty, guys. But back to some important news. As you know, Manchester United have also been interested in Evan Ferguson. Well, that interest might be under serious threat as Evan Ferguson is reported to have been keen on a primary target for Bayern Leverkusen in this January window, and all efforts are going on to sign this player. Also, in a last-ditch effort, RB Leipzig are attacking the signing of Tyler Dibling. And RB Leipzig, after initial talks with his camp, have the impression that the 18-year-old super talent is open to a move to Bundesliga. And now RB want to sign Dibling either now or the latest by the start of the new season. Tottenham also remain in very concrete talks with his management. Of course, you know that Tyler Dibling is a favorite of Manchester United, who are interested in this amazing talent from Southampton. And guys, that has been our presentation to you tonight. Now, of course, you know the star of tonight is Dorgu. Man United got their man. Interesting deal done. Signed, sealed, and delivered. 32 million euros all in. Of course, we paid 23 down, and there's like 6 or 7 in add-ons that are very ridiculous. So it's going to be interesting to see if they actually make it up. Big up to the team for the job that they done. Of course, if Pogba does come in, guys, you know, we did talk about it. Hopefully it might happen. Let's see what goes on there. Of course, Man United has not only been added to this. This young defensive talent has also been added. And it's going to be interesting to see how he develops. But we will be here to keep tabs on him, so you guys can just enjoy the show. Of course, if you want to tune in, there will be some watch-alongs coming up for the young talents of the academy, and I will be here bringing it live and direct to all of you. Big up to all of you joining. Jamaican and Brazilian, mad fire. Big up to Anraya in the building. Brother, I was joking, but relationships are important. Mind you, personal life is very important for a player. If Pogba was well accompanied, if Rashford was well accompanied, Pogba is well accompanied, by the way, but we can, you know, it's left to be seen. Has Balitek called in on the Reckless show before? Yeah, he has, bro, but they put him up on charges.
Have I? Have I been put on charges?
Bro, you wasn't supposed to be on charges with me the same time when I get the hot chip, bro. Just wanted to know.
I didn't even know.
You know, I a true soul. I ain't gonna snitch on you.
I didn't even know. Oh, cool. I would have came to face the charges still. Yeah, I don't mind going to jail or whatever it is because I find it hilarious.
It's hilarious anyway, bro. Big up to everyone watching. Big up to the great one. Big up to Madhouse. Big up to BQ Talks Football. Ricardo Diaz and Ricardo Pereira in the building.
One question.
Big up.
One question.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Dibling news about losing out on a talent like Dibling?
I would have gone buy Dibling instead of buying this brother, bro.
What
Dorgu?
for the left hand side?
Bro, Dibling playing left or right, you know. I would have gone buy Dibling, King. Just the fact that I know it possible he could leave, I would have gone.
What, for 50 million pounds though?
Brother, you see this brother play?
No, I know he's crazy footballer, but I'm saying if you're gonna buy in January, it's 50 million pounds, isn't it?
I mean,
because I think they're fighting relegation. So if you're gonna take one of their best players away from them, you gotta pay for it.
True. Yo, shout out to Karen Summer in the building. We got rid of Lingard, no Rashford. Bringing Pogba back is like taking a step back where we don't want to be with Player FC. Big up at the great one. Yo, there's my Trini brethren. You know, he also lives in Germany. He lives in Bayern as well. And he was at the game with me on Thursday last week. Yeah, it was a big time for him and a big night. Hopefully there'll be more times. We'll be traveling to more games together. Big up to the homie. Hope you guys are well. And big up to everyone in the chat. Thank you for coming in. Hope you have a great night. And thank you to Bali Tech for accompanying me tonight. Yeah, No more hyenas, bro. Pogba is going to come and remove it. He's going to be back. It will be fine. Trust me, guys. Trust me. By the way, Gorkas earns 3 million a year, only 1.5 million clean, just over 100K per month. That's small money, bro. Ahmad making 90K a week, King. Imagine. Can you imagine? Ahmad making like almost 4 times that a month, bro.
What's Bruno earning? Somebody tell him what Bruno's earning.
Bruno earns 350K a week, bro.
In pounds.
In pounds.
In pounds, not in euros, in pounds. What's 350 in pounds in euros?
Ahmad hit? Is there any Ahmad hit? I just said Ahmad making 4 times the guy, Gyökeres. I'm just showing Ricardo that, bro. That bro Gyökeres making his pocket change. Garnacho earning more than that, bro, at 50K a week. Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
like, trust me, the money that they're getting in Portugal, I'm like, obviously, no disrespect, but they're getting small money. So the minute they get offered, even to go to Wolverhampton, as an example, the money that they're getting paid to go to Wolverhampton is a lot of money, from the situation that they were previously in. 450,000 euros.
That's what it works out to be.
That's mad.
The tax difference is a little higher for foreigners, but bro, it's still mad.
Yeah, well, like I say, Gyökeres is if Manchester United want to sign the guy, don't be surprised if he comes and we can get rid of Rashford and then give him number 10, hopefully. Or we could give him Rasmus's number, just rip it off his back. Yeah, because what's Rasmus went You know, like they did it to Martial when
What are you saying? What are you saying? What is he saying?
Baby.